so do you wonder what are the different course types you can create online? What are the different course types compared to, traditional, compared to higher education? So we're going to talk about that in a second, but first, this. My name is Jean-Serge Gagnon, and I help entrepreneurs like you generate residual income from digital course strategies. All right, so what are the different course types? We're going to go really quickly through this. I just kind of want to give you an idea of what you can do online versus what is out there. So if you think about the traditional education system, right? High school, college, university. I mean, it's all about having a specific curriculum, right? Specific topics, specific things that are taught that are supposed to be learned by the students, and then including some verification, right? So some tests. Hey, Janet, how's it going? Some tests, that they have to pass, and you give them a grading, and then depending on whether they pass or not, they can go to the next course, the next year, right? The next year, the next level, right? So in traditional education, that's pretty much how it works, right? The way they teach is pretty much the same. It's all I forget what the word is. Anyways, there's a word for that. But being in front of a class and just teaching in front of a class, that's just how it is. And there's one teacher per like 20, 30 students, right? And that's how. Anyways, like I said, that's how it is. With the online world, there's variations. The first variation, of course, is that typically one student is taking the class, right? You're not gonna have too many people buying an online course and then putting it in front of a room with 20 students there listening, watching on a TV, right? That really isn't what online education is about. So we're not really going to cover that because it does happen. It is possible. It really depends on what you're trying to accomplish, but we're not going to really cover that. We're going to cover education using the online world, the different types of courses that you could be creating. So I'm not going to cover, I'm repeating myself, of course. So I'm not going to cover everything that's possible. We're just going to talk about a couple of few different things that are the major differences. The first one would be a course that is the most basic, right? Just a small, maybe 30-minute course, even less maybe, that teaches a little topic and that doesn't do any kind of validation, doesn't do any kind of verification. All it is it's videos or audios or text that the person gets and they go through, and they hopefully it's kind of like a book, right? You buy a book, and unless you take action, it's not really going to do anything, but you learn something, right? So it's kind of an entertainment kind of course, right? An entertainment kind of course where you're basically just teaching a short topic that is they're going to maybe use in their life, they're going to maybe use in their employment, that kind of thing. All right, so that's very basic one. Then you have a more complex course that's organized in modules, right? Organized in modules where you kind of come up with a structure. Maybe it's got 10 modules, maybe it's got 20 modules, and each module has a bit of a course that's similar to this 30-minute course, 15-minute course that basically just teaches a particular part of the course, but all along the same topic, right? So I mean, for example, you might be teaching social media marketing, and in one of the courses it's about Facebook, another course about LinkedIn, another course about Instagram, another course about Twitter. All these different modules are all about social media, engagement and that kind of stuff. So the other thing, you can have a course that's all about Facebook, just Facebook. And then you talk about building a profile, setting up, engagement, figuring out how to post in groups, knowing what the best kinds of posts you can do, giving examples of engagement posts, giving examples of curiosity posts, those kinds of things. And those are all courses that are organized in sections and modules. Then you go to the next level, which is kind of like closer to what you might expect and in the traditional education where you have these modules and everything, but you also include quizzes and what's the word? Verification of the person's understanding of the content, so that they can get graded, right? So that you can have maybe multiple questions and they get a grading of their understanding. And even maybe at the end, you give them like a certificate or something that they can show that they passed the course if they reach a certain level and that kind of thing. So we're talking about the basic, the one with modules, then the one with validation or quizzes. And then of course, there's maybe the next level, which would be where you have some interaction with the educator. So where you would have maybe once a week, you might have webinars or that kind of thing. Hey, Adrienne, thanks for watching. And Paul, thank you so much as well. So, you're going to have these kinds of different courses. So that course, the more advanced, where you have an interaction with the educator, the interaction could be live through webinars. Maybe there's 1 or 5 or 10 webinars throughout the course. And the course, in that kind of scenario, the course almost has to be a time box. That means it's from a certain date to a certain date. It's not really evergreen. It's not a course that can be anytime. Or maybe you have a course where the educator's always there every single week for a year, and you can start and stop whenever you want the course. There's different ways of organizing that, of course, but that's where you have interaction with the educator. So that interaction can be questions, or maybe it can be grading. And there could be things like, if it's, just an example, if you have a social media Facebook course where the educator is going to make sure that your profile is, the best profile, and they're going to go and verify your profile. They're going to give you gradings based on whether you did the profile picture right, and whether you did the cover photo right, and whether you have your introduction right, and whether you have, different things, and they're going to validate, and that's going to be part of the grading instead of just quizzes, right? So there's these different kinds of courses, the basic course, the course with modules, the course with modules and validation, and then of course the course with the interaction with the educator. And then we can talk more about more advanced courses where there's webinars involved, and most of the training is done through the webinars, where there's live interaction with the students. All the students can kind of comment and ask questions, that kind of stuff. And you can even go even further with like Zoom sessions where you would have the videos of everybody and they all see each other and that kind of stuff. But when I'm talking about online courses, I'm talking about a platform, what it can give you as a student, what you can get out of the course, and as an educator, what you can give to your students. All right, so I hope you got some value from this. This is all about, different kinds of courses that you can have online. And if you think anybody needs to hear this message, then please go ahead and share. I'm sure they'd appreciate it, and I would too. Have yourself a great day. Until next time.